this segment, we will be commemorating the military's Martyrs' Day, and also we will be commemorating the martyrs of the entire of Egypt, whether military, police or civilians. And we're joined in the studio by Major General Hussein Abdul Razik to shed more light on that day and the sacrifices of our brave soldiers, and whether armed forces or police. Good morning, Major.
Good morning.
Good
nice
morning.
to be with you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
And actually, this is a very important day to all of us, because not only talking about martyrs, all our respect to these people who lost their lives and they were protecting their country, but also to their families who are paying a huge price as well. And whenever we see or talk to any of the mothers, sons, daughters, children in general of these martyrs, we have to understand that it is our role to protect these people. But maybe before we proceed, we'd like to talk more about the history or the importance of that day.
Well, as a matter of fact, this day, as we know, it was the inauguration of the attrition war. So when we decide, to launch artillery attack against the Israeli position on the east side of Sinai, and it was planned by Lieutenant General Manam Riyad. And after that was on the 8th of March, 1969. And the next day, he went to the front just to see the results of the artillery attack against the Israelis' position. And the commanders advised him not to go to the first defensive line, but he insisted to go to see the officers, the general officers and the soldiers on the first defensive line and see the result of this attack. But unfortunately, Israeli round embarked close to his position, and he got hurt and he passed away. It was on the 9th of March, 1969. So this day marked the martyr day in our history, in our army. So we used to celebrate this day with great respect and appreciation to those who lost their lives defending of the country, defending of the people, to live in peace, safe and free.
General, how can we celebrate that way from your field of expertise? How can we keep the memory of these martyrs and also not only just keep it, but also introduce their bravery to the public?
As a matter of fact, we are doing so, from time to time. Of course, you are working in the media.
Yes.
And we send films about the martyrs and tell their stories and the way they fight, the way they lost their lives defending of the country or carrying out their mission. So we used to tell the people, we used to tell the students in the school, and I would say we must expand a little bit, to cover mosques, to cover universities, to cover everywhere, to tell the stories of those martyrs, because this is a national matter, and we have to transfer our feeling and our story and our history to the upcoming generation, from generation to generation. So this is the way we hand over our responsibility to the upcoming generation, to tell them the heroes, their stories, the way they lost their lives when they are defending of their country, of their territory, of their people. So this is very precious thing when we have to tell the generation about all these things, and we are doing so. We as a military, we as armed forces,
Yes,
we are doing so. We produced films about the martyrs, and of course you have noticed lately that a lot of film have been broadcasted, and we are keeping doing so. But I would say we have to tell this story to the student, to the young people, because this is the way to raise the generation on the base of nationalism, and to tell them that sometimes you have to sacrifice even your life when you defend of the values of our life.
Talking about our martyrs who are losing their lives every day in North Sinai. And sometimes I feel sad because people in different areas in the country, they don't feel these people how they are suffering. And actually we are living a very normal life. We are talking about investments, we are talking about mega projects, we are talking about a lot of things. And we are not taking into consideration that these people, they decided and preferred to be in the front line just to take it on their own selves, and in order not to let us feel there is anything going on. And we believe that there is nothing going on. But on the contrary, just as the President mentioned before, they preferred to be on the front line.
Look, this is the nature of the military job. You know, sometimes we are living far away from our homes, from our cities, and nobody knows what's going on close to the border.
Is this
for example.
healthy?
This is our role, and look, this is unshakable dogma in our culture as military. You know, I'll tell you something about our existence in Yemen, for example. You know, a lot of casualties, a lot of soldiers lost their lives, and nobody knows here. We were living a normal life and enjoying our life, and nobody feel what was going on in Yemen. You know, in Yemen we lost more than 17,000 soldiers in Yemen, and nobody knows.
But what I mean is that, is this healthy? Because I don't like the way that some people are criticizing and they don't know the fire these people are living with.
Look, you know, throughout history it happened everywhere. I was abroad in the United States, and the same thing happened there. Battle in Afghanistan, and they lost lives, and the United States is living, as you know. The same thing when I was in England, in Falkland. Some people lost their lives, and it was a war, and the people living normal life. So the military is a military. They know their job, and the people, that's normal thing, you know. It doesn't need to be criticized or to, you know, to focus on this point, because this is a normal life. We are military as you are a media, working in the media. That's your job, that's my job. I know I have to fight sometimes. Even I lost my life, I lost my soldiers, I lost my officers, and day after day, life going on. Right? This is our job. And from the beginning, when we were cadet in the military academy, you know, we got that lesson. Mm-hmm. We are fighting silent. Our people don't know what we are going on, what we are doing. Mm-hmm. But this is our job. And keep in your mind, the main mission is to carry out your mission.
Yes.
You know, because finally you are securing your society, your people, you're maintaining the life of your people, and this is a precious thing in our life and in our career as military.
General, we have on air right now scenes from the film about the late General Abdul Riyadh. Would you like to comment on some of the important sections in that film that we have to know about as parts of it is being broadcasted?
Okay. Look, I got the honor to serve under his command mm-hmm. in 1967 mm-hmm. On the Jordan front. Mm-hmm. I was a commander of platoon, and we had a mission in Israel at that time. Mm-hmm. Maybe a lot of people don't know about this. We have been transferred to Jordan front, mm-hmm. and we entered to Israeli territory, and we carried some mission under the command of Lieutenant Abdul. He was general at that time. Mm-hmm. And I remember when we get back to Jordan, and we had a meeting with him, and he told about the story in the Egyptian front, which was a complete defeat. And he said, look, we lost a battle, just a battle, but we didn't lose the war. We keep fighting, by you and by the others. We will keep fighting till we liberate our territory and to get Egypt back on the track. This is our determination, and no one set back. So he told us this story. Really, he was a wonderful general, really, educational one, a scientific way of thinking, He is not just a general, but he always direct his soldier and officers to the right way, to do the job as it should be. So he was that kind. And also, he had this morality, to spread out, around. All the people working under his command was happy to work with him. He was very decent and was very wise and was very decisive man. So he's a very, very symbol, bright symbol to the officers and the army. Till now, we still remember him.
Yes.
Sir, you were talking about awareness, not only among people in general, but really I'm very much concerned with the children, because I want them to know more about their own history, because this was what is going to create the dignity and their feelings of their Egypt, and that Egypt is something, something in our hearts. So maybe we have to work more on this, and we have to show something for the kids so that they can understand as well, to know who is, for example, unfortunately, we might find many of the young people who do not know who is Abdul Manam Riyad, a man who sacrificed his life, because just we think about if this did not take place all the years, talking till the 1973, what was going to be the situation in Egypt right now, for example?
I agree with you. As a matter of fact, all the students, busy with the scientific things, but not much about the history, not much about the dignitaries of our
Maybe we have to
society.
do it in an attractive way for them, in their own way, to speak their own language.
Yes. Okay, yeah, you have to use the language to talk to the young, because, talking to him is something different from talking to the elder people. And maybe the art, maybe the media, maybe the cinema, they should give much care to this point. It's very important, to initiate your generation with such valuable things, because a lot of lessons have to be learned about how certain, and they keep these things in their mind and in their heart. And when they grown up, these things grow up with them.
Because we have seen religious cartoons, for example.
Yes,
but we need to see
yes.
something like this for the
As
kids,
a-
to learn more about.
Unfortunately, the money just go to the attractive things, and it seems to me those who have this money and these capabilities, I
To
would
have a
say
model to follow.
Yeah, they have to be a part of this society. They have to be a part of our future. Giving money, to just to initiate your generation, to be very strong, to be very aware about their history, about their future. That's something deserves to be, financed, not just running here and there and covering the attractive things. You have to be, even the United States, this strong country, they always give much care to this age, the pupils, the young people, because they are the future of the United States. We have to do the same thing here. We have to be aware of, I'm not saying about the young, but also the elder people, the society entirely. They have to be educated about the history, about the heroism, about the battles, about the decisive moment, you know, that make a turning point in our history, all these things must be educated in some form of art, in some form of culture, in some form, whatever. You know, we have a lot of ways to do so, but we need to be more serious in doing so.
General, you've talked to us about your memories with the late Colonel General Abdul Riyad, but there are so many stories, and you told us before the interview that actually you supervise the production of many films about the bravery of the armed forces. So would you like to tell us more examples of such braveries, please?
For example, we have, I'd say, my commander, when I was just lieutenant, you know, in the attrition war, my commander was called Farouk Negm, Farouk Abdul Negm. He was the commander of my company. I was just commander of platoon. And we got a mission to cross the canal and to ambush Israeli patrol, you know, is the canal. And we succeeded to do so. We destroyed 2 vehicles, and Israel announced that they lost 11 lives in this ambush. And when we were fighting and shooting, he said, I'm going to capture an Israeli soldier. And he attacked the place, but unfortunately he got shot in his chest from a soldier. He jumped from the vehicle and took a shelter and shot at the man who attacked this police, and he got killed. He was in 1968. So just after a few months of 1967. And I still remember him when he said, no, go ahead, let me here, and I'm dying. Let me here. Just carry out the job entirely and take care of your soldier. And he gave us advice, you know, to withdraw from the place after we succeed in destroying these vehicles. And unfortunately, he passed away, and he was the first commander in my life to lose his life. And also we should remember Ibrahim Rifai, who was the commander of the 39 unit, Special Forces, and he launched a lot of attacks against the Israeli position during the attrition war, and during the October War, he got a mission to fight in the Israeli gap. And he, by himself, he was the commander, he was on the front line, you know, and he shot at the Israeli tanks, and he got shot and passed away. A lot of victories he made, a lot of successful mission he carried out, and he was a very sympathetic person to all the officers in the armed forces afterward. So also we should remember Zarab, you know, this captain who attacked a strong point in October War, and he just put himself, you know, in front of machine gun to protect his soldier and to enable them to capture this stronghold. So these symbols of heroism, you know, we keep in our mind, and we produce films about those people, and we always educate our soldier in symposium, in lectures.
Just allow me, you're talking about educating the soldiers, because you mentioned in the very beginning that the nature of the military armed personnel in general, it is different. And the point is that the students, when they join the military academy, for example, they are normal youth with normal and common interests like any other one. But once they join the academy, they are completely changed. Not only this, but their families change as well. And just after hearing many of the mothers, after talking to the president, they lost one of their sons, and she is saying she's ready to lose the other one. She's ready to send the other one as well to be another martyr in the family with a very strong personality and dignity. How do you do this? How do you change it?
The curriculum in the military academy, it's a heritage, you know. This curriculum, you know, is very strong and is very full of nationalism, you know. And if you got one of your relatives, you know, entered the military academy, and you compare between his life before and his
All
life
families
after.
in Egypt, in each family you will find someone in the military academy.
Exactly. Even their parents, their brothers, you know, they admired that, right? Because, you know, he enjoyed the discipline, he enjoyed the respect, you know, the feeling of responsibility. And on the top of this, his responsibility about the mission entrusted to him throughout his career, you know. It is very important. You have always to succeed. You have always to insist to carry your mission, you know, to protect your soldier, to direct your supporter properly, to control everything. So all these lessons in practically, not just lecture, not but just
Failure
words.
is not accepted.
No. You know, practically in a lot of projects throughout his career, you know, we examined, you know, his ability to do so. So as long as he promoted and get a lot of high position, you know, he tried to transfer what he had been learned to his supporters, to his subordinates, to the soldier, to the officers. So it is a wave of culture, you know, moving from generation to generation. It is a cultural matter, and we do happy, you know, to be a part of it. I do feel proud, you know, to be a military academy graduated, and after that, junior officer and general. Always in my heart, in my thinking, this feeling, you know, and I keep telling the people about these things. So this is our culture as military, and we do happy with it.
Well, Major General Hussein Abdul, thank you very much for this interview. And of course, we don't have enough words to describe the sacrifices and the significance of our martyrs and of all the officers who are alive also, who are willing to give up their lives for their country. Thank you very much.
I was happy to be with you on this day, and I would say those people who lost their life, they were fighting in the name of Allah and defending of their country. And we do feel happy, you know, to celebrate this day and to remember them with high respect and appreciation.
Thank you, Major General. And now we will be going out to a quick break, but we'll be back with more on Breakfast Show, so stay with us.